Hey everybody, Chew here. It's a new day. Yesterday, I did my best to show you how to make sourdough dough with using starter that is plain bread flour. I use King Arthur, or whole wheat flour, which is gold medal, for your starters. The bread that I'm about to put into the oven is one that has the whole wheat starter. I used regular flour, but the starter has whole wheat, so therefore my starter is a little stronger. This is my silicone lifter and protector. It keeps the bottom from getting as brown, and as well, I still use parchment paper. Is pretty much you pulled out anytime I cook. I use it for something all the time. It's really a good protector, keeps things from sticking, helps with cleanup and so much more. But anyway, I'm still going to double up a piece because I don't like my bread extremely brown and hard on the bottom. I have my lame here, and I'm ready to go ahead and turn out my loaf. I've got another pan in the oven. Oh, I've got my Dutch oven in the oven, and the temperature's on 500. So this bread is going to go in initially for about 30 to 35 minutes into the 500-degree Dutch oven. The Dutch oven has been heating for close to an hour. I went up and prayed while it was warming up. So what I'm going to do is lift up my silicone sheet and my parchment paper and keep this from slamming out. Flip it over, and if I'm lucky, I put enough flour in there that it comes right out. And it did. I'm going to push this back just a little bit so that you might see that's just a metal cup, thank God, not glass. A little bit of flour still on the top remaining, but it's rice flour. So that's not my best friend. It does not actually absorb into the dough. But to get a nice design on the top, I'm going to actually grab a little bit, just a sprinkle of regular flour. Because I think when you make your designs in the top, when the bread gets brown, the design stays light and it makes a really nice design. So I'm going to do what is called wheat stalks. And that's simply by doing, I want to be careful with this lame. I thought this was a lame. I called it everything, but it's really, I went on to Google just a little while ago, and it's called L-A-M-E is a lame. So if you just go to your dough and just make diagonal marks, one behind the other down one side, and come down the opposite side the opposite way, this turns out in one. These are not deep slits at all. I'm going to go over here and do a few more like this, and I'll lift the bread and show it to you this way. I got all of these seemingly techniques from Ballerina Farm. I think her name is Neeleman. That's her last name. But anyway, then you need one expansion score, which is the terminology I was trying to find last night. So I'm going to go kind of perpendicular with a little deeper mark. Now the bread is chewy. I would say if I had to pick this up and bite it, I would say it's chewy. So it's not the easiest thing to cut, but this is a deeper score. And this helps with the spring in the oven. Now, with my oven mitts, the ones that have a little bit of more protection on them, I'll grab my pan. This one also has it. I'm gonna put this way while I grab the pan so that you can see. I don't put a pan that hot on my counter. Even though it is a strong top, it's granite, but this pan is no joke. And the one downstairs is roasting at the same temperature. So what used to be a bright red pan is kind of now like a blood red, dry blood red. Okay, now this bread is going to be lifted into here carefully, like so. And this pan is oval, so it's good for the shape of this bread. I don't know what to call this shape. It's in there now. In order to get a really good expansion, I have been taught by looking at videos to put a little ice cubes in under the paper, which gives it steam, helps it to get a nice, quick, and early rise. And you shouldn't be playing around with this for too long. Always keep your gloves handy. Don't be tempted to pick up that lid with your bare hand. And it goes back into the oven for 30 to 35 minutes at 500. I'll turn my camera around, guys, because I want you to see, if you can, that there are a couple metal pans just under my roaster. There's a couple pans here. These absorb heat. So as they absorb heat, they keep the bottom of my crust from getting as brown as it might. So we'll see you back here in about 35 minutes, and we'll see what my bread turns out like. I'm going downstairs and do the other one. I like the setup here, the light here. So I'll do that one, and when the bread comes out, I'll be sure to show it to you. Hopefully it's as good. This one, the one that I'm gonna bring out and cook downstairs, is not the whole wheat. It's the regular flour. Somehow, I don't get as good a rise out of that one. It's good bread. The crumb is good. I've got the nice little air pockets and holes in it. And it turns out really, really flavorful, but I like the look of the crust of the whole wheat. So I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes. Well, here we go. That is the whole wheat loaf. I've just pulled it out of the oven. It's been in the oven for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna put it back in for another 10 minutes just to get a little bit browner. When I pull it out, you'll see the depth of its rise. Well, everybody, the first loaf is out. I just pulled off the lid downstairs on the other all white starter. This is the loaf. I'm gonna pull it out of the pan. And believe me, those silicone handles are not to be toyed with either. Gonna move, I've got another loaf here that I'm ready to put in. I need to put my pan back into the oven at the 500 degree so that I can finish both loaves. But I will pull this one out of the pan for you so that you can see how wonderful it turned out. It is an absolutely gorgeous loaf. I will pull this paper away and allow it to cool completely. You really should not cut into your bread until it's completely cool, because while it is hot, it's been at such a high temperature, the gases and the steam that causes it to rise, if you cut that open, you're gonna lose your steam, you're gonna lose your moisture. You do want a nice crackly crust, but you want the bread to be tender inside. So I am very happy with this loaf. I am going to pick it up and show it to you. Show you the height. Show you that nice expansion line. And also to give you an idea of how nice and crusty it is. You hear that? It is really nice and crusty, and it's probably really nice and tender inside. So I'm going to move it off of the paper and the silicone sleeve. As a matter of fact, I need the sleeve for my next loaf of bread. And it's cooled off quite a bit. Yay. I'm moving it so that I can actually take the loaf off and put it onto the cooling rack. That didn't go so bad. Now see, that's as brown as I like the bottom of my loaf to be. So I'm gonna put my pan back in the oven. I have the second whole wheat loaf ready to go in. I scored it with some wheat stalks, and that expansion slice right there on the outside of the loaf. I'm going to put that in very shortly, and I'll come back to show you that. I'm happy, guys. It turned out well. Here's the, I don't want anyone to say, wonder why she didn't show that all white loaf. This is it. I still find that it's a pretty loaf. It will taste good, but I still don't get that spring in this loaf that I do in the others. This one I just pulled out of the basement oven, and it's not comparable to this one in height, in spring. It just looks kind of all the same at the top. There's no ear. This one has a nice ear on it. So I don't think this was overproofed. I'm not letting this all white flour proof long enough. So the next time that I do it, I'm gonna let it proof until I see a double in its rise, and then we'll see how we go from there. Anyway, I'm about to put the third loaf in. This is the most successful loaf, in my opinion. It's still quite hot. There is that wonderful ear. That is that wonderful wheat stalk design on the sides of it. And it's nice and crusty. Hear that? But it's nice and springy too. All right, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will do more videos on sourdough. When I get it perfected, you'll know it and I'll know it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.